Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to go through an actual real life shoot with a real life client, and it's not a dog, it's a big dog because it's actually a pony. So yep, like I've just said, basically we're gonna watch the behind the scenes and what the camera captured on a shoot which happened earlier this year. So I didn't really know what to do with this footage because it's a horse and it's not a dog, and I wasn't obviously recording it for YouTube. I was just recording bits of it for ourselves. So I thought I'll put it into a video because it might be useful for some of you guys in terms of what I'm doing on a client shoot. So here we have Twiggy, who is the grey mare. She is over 20 years old now, and the girl that's leading her is Emily. Emily has had Twiggy in her life for a long time. She got Twiggy when Twiggy was 4. So there was a gap in the middle, but then now they're back together, so we did a shoot. And so essentially from here on out we're looking at my camera footage. So yes, it is shaky, but I'm on a shoot, so I'm not going to be too precious about it. What we're doing is she's in this halter by Emma Emerell, who makes these halters for photography. They're so easy to use on horses, and what I'm doing is just making sure that my settings are okay, and I'm being really careful to make sure I also get what I call safe shots. So the composition isn't always perfect, but I'll get a safe shot. So I got a safe shot then, and then I moved slightly to get a better composition. I'm also going to intersperse the final pictures over in this video too. So Emily's up on Twiggy now. She's been held by a trusted helper there, and we're waiting basically to get good expression from the horse. So in this situation, when you're working with horses, you'll need to be looking for a few specific things. Number one, that the ears are forwards. The ears have to be facing forwards for 99.9% of all photographs. So the aim of this shoot was to actually end up with a load of kind of like autumnal warm images, hence why there is no greens showing in the final edits, and that is absolutely fine. That's what we were going for there. But you'll see as we move through, I'm waiting for the horse to be in a good position. So the helper knows to put the horse square, which we'll come on to later, but I'm waiting for the ears to go forwards. I'm also looking for curves in the body. So straight is fine, because it's fine. So in this situation we do end up with a straight shot, but what I've already done before shooting that one was I shot one of the helper holding the horse from the left, so I've got more space to use in the final edit. So again, ears forwards, so important guys, making sure when you're photographing horses that the ears are forwards. So in this situation you can see me really work this shot out. So at this stage I'm framing it. I then suggest that the horse goes and stands in the right place, and I'm like, oh, I'm too close. So I moved backwards. As soon as I was happy that I was okay with the composition, the tree line behind that frames the girl there, I asked Dan, trusted helper with some ferns in his hand, to go and stand at the other side of the track. So that was when I was ready, and he is using those ferns to get Twiggy to look to the other side and put her ears forwards. So this shot is a really important shot from the session. Realistically, the composition works really well because the horse's body has got a really good curve in it, and that is very flattering for most horses. This horse is over 20 years old. She's an old lady now, and a curve just makes the whole body of the horse look much more put together, and it will be much more flattering for poorer conformation. Not that Twiggy has poor conformation, of course, but it's just a go-to angle that works really nicely. So you can kind of tell in this shot that I've got more space to the side, and I made an error, which I'll show you guys later, because I should have just stayed there, asked everybody to move out the way and then taken one more shot, which I didn't. So I had to fix that later on. But if we carry on, I'd already got one and I wanted to make sure that I had a backup just in case anything went wrong. So at this stage I asked them to reset, but the horse is straight to me now and the head is turning towards the right. And what that does is that makes the horse look quite wide. So she looks quite wide, her back legs look close together. It's not as flattering as the curved one, so it doesn't have that level of engagement. But I did say to Emily at the start, make sure that if she looks off intensely in a direction, look where she's looking and the pictures will come together really nicely. So you can see that she's definitely doing that in this situation, and she is looking in a 100% the right direction. So then I fix my mistakes. So I then go back to my little position and get my camera prepared. I turn around and then I'm like, oh no, I'm not on the same line of where I was before. So I'm trying my best to remember where I was, and then I am basically shooting my empty shots without anything there. So I've focused on an area on the ground with back button focus where I thought the horse was, and then I've taken some empty shots. So I'm going for much more space around the sides and the top so that I can composite this into a beautiful final image, which thankfully worked quite well, if we're being honest. So we've moved along to a bit of a different location now, different background, much more open. Being very cautious of the tree that's on the right, because that is an oak tree which is poisonous for horses, so we just made sure that she stayed away from that particular tree. But I've put her head in the tree line even though there's the sky to the side, and the reason for that, basically, she's grey, so she'd just blend in. So when the final shot was taken from this particular position, she sits beautifully in the right hand side. Okay, so I wanted to get some of Emily on the floor, and Twiggy needed some encouragement, so we used a carrot there. So we just made sure that she's got that nice curve to her again. Emily's on the floor and I asked Emily to just hold the carrot up and interact with her. So we took loads and loads of pictures in this particular set, because you just don't really know how long you've got when you're working with animals. So get your safe shots and then wait for the perfect shot, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, that's fine. So I'm just moving my focus point, making sure that I'm on the eyes of both of them, and at a certain point it all came together nicely and there was a beautiful moment. So with that moment captured, I thought, you know, I'm going to go back and say, can you put your hand over the carrot? So this moment that you can see on the screen right now basically is the floor. So welcome to the floor of the forest. And what I'm doing is I'm having a conversation with Emily and showing her how to hide the carrot hand with her other hand, basically. So she's going to have the carrot in her right hand now, and then her left hand's going to go up and sort of just cover the carrot hand and the side of Twiggy's nose. And what that's going to do basically is give us a better final composition that doesn't look like she's holding something for the behaviour to be done. So I go back and reset to my little position where I was, and when I'm happy obviously that everyone knows what they're doing, Emily gets back into her position, Twiggy's back in hers, and you can see that hand covering the carrot hand now. So the carrot hand is well and truly covered. She does twist it slightly so that it is covered there, so that it looks like they're having a little conversation. And as Twiggy's nomming on the carrot, we get some beautiful, beautiful shots. So the final shots of the day I forgot to record, as I did with some other shots from the session, oopsies, but can you see the, pause there, can you see the warm yellow light coming from behind? That is beautiful, beautiful golden hour sunshine, and it was coming through the trees so nicely there that I thought, you know, we best get some pictures here. So we positioned the horse, changed back into the halter, and used this tree line to get some beautiful photographs with some beautiful warm bokeh in. One point that I just want to pick up on is to do with how horses stand. So I've got a picture that I'm going to show you on the screen now that is basically how the horse went into a stand, and Dan was waiting for me to take the picture and I was like, I'm not taking a picture of her stood like that because the owner will not buy that. That is not a good picture of the conformation. So we reset the horse so it stood square, and standing square basically means that all four legs are neatly aligned underneath each other. You definitely could put one back leg further in, further out, but really for horses and most horse owners, they will want their horse stood square with legs nicely underneath them and a nice strong shot. So you can see at this stage that I'm trying to make sure that Twiggy is staying with the tree background rather than the light background, but it doesn't always work out like that. So the final edited version looks like this, which was perfectly fine. Yes, she does look like a older horse, but that's absolutely fine because she is an older horse. Like, at the end of the day, that's the truth. And compared to her younger years, she obviously has matured beautifully. What would have made this image better? Probably to angle her hindquarters round, maybe a step, maybe a couple of hooves widths round towards the back, and then have her curving her neck to make that nice curve. And the difference in the two would be probably quite stark, but at this stage we were losing light and it was not an option. So that was the session really. We ended up with a lovely final gallery, and the client ordered multiple different things, one of which was a acrylic. So I've just got some phone snaps of the acrylic that they ordered here from the table, and you can see that they chose that one that I set up carefully and took. These pictures aren't going to be to everyone's tastes, and that is absolutely fine. This is what I guess this is what people come to me for, so I'm fine with it. I really liked the session there, and little Twigs got extra snacks when she got home, not that she hadn't eaten many already on the walk, and it was a good day had by all. I hope this video has been somewhat useful to somebody. If you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, can you let me know? Because I'll take the EVF recorder out with me on every shoot if it's going to be that helpful, and we'll do some shoot walkthroughs in the future. So yeah, a little test on this one, and I will see you all again really, really, really soon.